Frugal Friday to you. In today's video, we're talking all about contouring and highlighting using products from the drugstore. I'm going to be showing you a tutorial today of how to contour and highlight your face, explaining the basic practices and principles behind it, and I'll also be sharing some of my most favorite contour shades that I have discovered from the drugstore for relatively cheap. Hi again! Okay, so before we get into the tutorial portion of this video, I wanted to share some of my most favorite drugstore bronzers with you. Now please keep in mind that this is not an all-inclusive list. These are just the ones that I have found that I really love. So if you're looking for a new one to try, these are all spectacular options. First one is from Milani. It's their Bronzer XL, and this has two different shades in the palette. And I don't find this shade to be too dark on me, but I do have to use it sparingly because if you use too much, then it can look like you got jet streaks down your cheeks. My next favorite is one you've heard me talk about many times before. Many of you by now are probably like, we know, Z, move on. That is the Rimmel Natural Bronzer. This is in the shade number 21 Sunlight, and I just love this. It has a matte finish, which is perfect because when you are contouring, you don't want to use a shimmery bronzer. The whole point of contouring is to create shadows. So when you use a shimmery color as a contour shade, it attracts light. So it has the opposite effect of what you are trying to achieve. Another great option for you to try is the Wet n Wild Contour Palette. This is in the lightest shade that they offer. Really love this little palette. I find this side of the palette to be quite useless because it doesn't show up on me at all, but the matte contour shade is perfect, especially if you have really light, fair skin, because this is one that I feel like you don't have to be too careful with how much you apply. All the bronzers I shared with you today apply smoothly, they do not have a splotchy application whatsoever, and they wear really well too. So for the tutorial portion today, I am going to go with the Wet n Wild Contour Palette, and I'm using this shade as my contour. And I'll start by doing only one half of my face so you can see the difference between one half to the other and the difference that contouring makes. So when I start contouring, I typically go down the sides of my face, really chiseling out the cheeks. A little bit goes a long way, and you can see what I mean with that Wet n Wild Contour Palette. It's such a light finish. I also apply a little bit sometimes up onto the temples. If you have double chin issues and you want to hide that, contour is a great way to do it. If you take a little bit of contour and apply it down the jawline, that will create a shadow there and help to hide the double chin. And that is essentially what contour will do. It's a way for you to slightly change your facial structure with simple optical illusion tricks that you're using with shadows and light. I have the opposite problem of this next contour principle, but I'll still share it with you. If you feel like your forehead is too high and you would like to bring it down, you can add contour along the hairline to help create the illusion of a shorter forehead. Now, if you're like me and you've been reminded several times in videos past that your forehead is non-existent, then you don't have to do that. But I will show you today just how to do it. And what I do typically is take the bronzer and go along the forehead. You can also slim down your nose with simple contour. And for this demo, I'm using the Sedona Lace EB13 fluffy brush. And the way that you do this is take the contour shade and apply it down the sides of the nose. You don't need much. A little bit goes a long way. And if you have a longer nose, you want to shorten it a little bit, add a little bit of contour onto the tip. You want to make your lips look bigger, you can do that with contour too. So I'm taking the same brush I was using before and adding contour underneath the lower lip. And that creates an artificial shadow there. Makes your lip look bigger. And that's just the contour. We haven't even added the highlighter yet, which I feel like brings the entire look together. For my highlighter, I have really been enjoying the Wet n Wild Fergie one in the shade Rosé Champagne Glow. So when you think of highlighter, you want to think of placing this on the areas of the face where the sun would naturally hit you. So up here on the forehead is a great place to apply highlighter. Down the bridge of the nose, on the chin, and on the top of the Cupid's bow. You can also add highlighter underneath your brows if you want to. on the under eye area, more of like a triangular kind of pattern, but you don't want to get too close to underneath the eyes because that can emphasize fine lines. So more so underneath the eye, and then bring it to the top of the cheek. And then add a blush if you would like on the apples of the cheeks. And there you can see the side that has the contour and highlight already applied, and the difference that you get with the side that has nothing on it. And please feel free to share your favorites that you have discovered from the drugstore for contouring and highlighting. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Have a great weekend.